All right, I am back with a bonus project for you in the mini album video that I showed you how to put this mini album together. There were 5 card bases left over from the 5 envelopes that we used in the mini album. What can we do with these card bases? Well, besides turning them into little cards, cutting them up to have wood grain background, which is fabulous, why don't we make some tags? Some beautiful little tags that we can put in our mini album. So you're going to take one card base and you're going to divide it in half this way. So you've got a piece like this, okay? And then from that piece, you have choice. If you have either of our tag topper punches, you want 2-inch wide pieces. So that's what I did here. If you don't have the tag topper, but you've got our trio punch, which I'll just grab, you can leave it whatever width you want it to be. So you can just cut it in half because you don't have a groove you have to fit it into. So I'm going to show you both of those. So I had already cut this down earlier. This was my 2-inch piece, but I'm going to do another one to show you how I put that together. So we'll just set that aside. And so you can see you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 tags out of a card base. Okay. You're going to need a doily, and you're going to divide your doily into 4 pieces. So one doily, one card base will give you 4 tags, and you still have 4 more left over. Okay. So I'm going to bring my little mini trimmer in, and we're going to cut it just a hair less than 2-inch. The little track that's in here is a little less than 2. So I like to put it on so I can see my full line and a little bit. And then that should just slide in and out of there just perfect. Okay, let's do the other one first. So we need a notch at the top to put our ribbon through. And on the trio punch there is a little hole. And this goes in here like this straight. And you more or less line this line up here at whatever is the midpoint on your card. And it might not end up being exact because there's no track to have it in, but it'll be close. And that'll give us a hole there at the top to put our ribbon through. Then we can round the corners. So we'll round this corner and we'll round this corner. And then just for fun, we can go over here on the third one and we can put a floret in that corner and a floret in that corner. Okay, so that's one way to make the top of the tag. You could even round the bottom of the tag if you want to, but I'm going to leave it flat. With the topper, to unlock it, you just slide it in, and I'm not going to slide it all the way to the end because it cuts quite a bit off. I'm going to bring it back a little bit. I want to save, I want some length to my tag. That just takes that bit off. And then I have this lovely top to my tag. Okay, and we have 2 different tag topper punches. They make 2 slightly different tops to them, but both of them give you a place to put a ribbon through. Then we can take one of our quarter doilies. You can decide which side you want to put it on, and we're just going to glue that down in place. And so a little bit of glue down here on the corner is really all you need to hold it in place. If you want to try to put glue up here on this edge, you can. When I did this one, I had glue all over my fingers and the desk and everywhere else too. Didn't really accomplish anything, so I'm not going to in this case. I'm going to slide that into place. So there, we'll do that one on that corner. We'll do this one on this corner. That. And now if I wanted to, I could stick this back in my, maybe I will, what the heck. We will round off the bottom corners. There we go. We take the corner off our doily too. All right. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, then we need some weeds. There's all kinds of fun different patterns and things in here, and you can cut them down a little bit. That's a cool one. Let me see. I like this one. Yeah. Okay. So then we just glue one of those down. And I'm just putting a few little dots of glue. I'm not trying to glue the whole thing because I'll have glue everywhere. It's just to anchor it. That. This one will be a little easier because it's got some bigger spots. I'm not so worried about my stem because my stems are going to be anchored underneath of a label or something. That. And then we'll just trim off this excess little bit right here. And did I get that one on? Yep, just hanging over just a hair. There we go. And then we'll go to our label sheet and see what we've got. Now, I don't know what you may have used in some of your other projects, so you look and see what you've got. I did a happy birthday here. I think I'm going to do we can get through anything together. No, actually, I'm going to do, that's going to cover up too much of my doily. I was thinking of this for you. Our happy life. I'm going to do here. And I'm going to put it right against the edge so that the little flaggy end comes off over there. You know what? I love this. There's this little one here that's so easy to miss. Live simply. Just like that. Now, we need some ribbon. And I'm going to show you a trick on how to get your ribbon on here so that it sits perfectly. So you're going to need 2 6-inch pieces of ribbon, which you just happen to have right here. Okay? So, because you want this to have a nice finished sort of a, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a bow tie, kind of like a finished tie look to it. And nice on the back too. It's all in how you put it through the hole. So take your piece of ribbon and you're going to fold it in half like this, but then you're going to flip one end over. So you're actually making it have this little cup in it already. Okay? Bring your ends together. Now, I want to show you just one thing. When I cut my ribbon, I always cut my angles the same. And the reason I do that is because when I bring my ends together, if they're opposites, I know I don't have it right. When I flip one over, if they both match, I've got it the right way. Okay, so I line those up together, and I'm going to bring those up from the back through my tag. Okay. Then, when you look, you'll see how your ribbon is already lined up, that you've got this cup that's going to come up over the top of it just perfectly. So feed your points up through, and then very carefully just keep pulling and tucking and pulling and tucking. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to tear the top of your tag, but just keep manipulating and pulling and tucking and pulling and tucking. Rotate it a little bit until you bring your little cup down over the top of the tag, and then there you've got your 2 pieces. And at this point in time, if you want to cut the opposite one off so it goes in the opposite direction, you can. Okay. Now let's see if we can accomplish that with a slightly smaller hole. Do that, and then we flip one over. It doesn't matter which way you flip it, just as long as your cup is the right direction. And we're going to bring that up through the bottom. Now this is going to be tight, and the ribbon's going to have to fold a little bit because this hole is not as wide as this ribbon. So it's going to curl a little bit. That's okay. Let it curl. And we poke our ends through the hole. And I can see my ends of my ribbon frayed a little bit coming through that hole, but I've got lots of extra to cut down here. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did before, just keep twisting and pulling a little bit, twisting and pulling until it comes together just like the knot on a man's tie. There we go. And yeah, I kind of frayed and ruined the ends of my ribbon, but I'm going to cut that down just a little bit anyway. There we go. So you can get all kinds of tags out of those bases. I'm going to show you one more little thing we can do. So a couple of these tags could go into the mini albums. Okay. What about some treat packaging? Easter's coming. Easter Bunny brings treats. So we're going to take one and we're going to divide it. We're not going to use the mini paper trimmer. It's not going to fit. We're going to divide it in the tall length. So it's 4 1/4, so we're going to do it at 2 1/8. Now, again, if you wanted to top this with the tag topper, you can't do it at 2 1/8. So I'll show you one with the tag topper and one without. So tag topper one has to be a hair smaller than 2, which means the other one's going to be 2 1/4. We're going to end up with 2 1/4. Yeah, 2 1/4. So that one's too big to fit the tag topper. This one's going to fit the tag topper just about correct. Okay, we need to do some scoring on here. So we're going to get rid of our trimmer blade so that we have our scoring. I'm just going to grab my cheat sheet. All right, we're going to do some scoring. Now, there's already a score line in the middle of the card piece, and we're going to make use of that. So that one is at 3 1/4. We're also going to do one at 4 1/2. So 4 1/2. And I should be doing these. Sorry, I should be doing these on the wooden side up. 4 1/2. And then we're going over to 4 7/8. So just an 8 before 5. 4 7/8. And then we're going all the way over to 6 1/8, which you have to open up your thing for because you'll butt up against the end of it at 6th. And 6th and 1/8 is like the last of the white, so right against the brown. All right. Oh, I should do the other one while I'm here. Let's do this one too. So we have 3 1/4 is already there. 4 1/2. 4 1/2. And then 4 7/8. And then right to the edge of the white at 6th and 1/8. All right, there. So we've got all our scoring done. Now, we're going to fold up all of those little scores. I'm having a hard time seeing them in my light here this afternoon. So what we're going to end up with is just a little box that's just 3/8 of an inch deep, really. And we're going to put a little treat in that. It doesn't have to be very deep. We're going to take this top and we're going to stick it in our tag topper. This is my 2-inch wide one that I did. And I'm just going to punch tag topper in there. And I just realized I folded this all around the wrong way. I want the I want the wood grain on the front of my thing. There we go. So when I fold it up, my box top is going to be white, but that's okay. I want the wood grain on the back. Okay. Then we need to put a little hole in here for our treat. So we're going to need a die that is sort of a rectangular shape. And I found a number of dies that will work for this. So you look in your stash and see what you have. If you have the Ornate Frames dies, there is this little one that's fighting me to come out. This little one here, which seems to fit just perfectly. So you're looking for something that's going to fit in that little space on the top of the, sorry, on, which is the top? This, and the top. Okay, so that one would work. If you don't have Ornate Frames and you have Hippo and Friends, this smallest rectangle one here, I'm not so sure. It's a little large for this one, but if you use the bigger one, that fits that bigger one. So I'm going to keep that one out for that. Or, these are retired, but the stitch nested labels, the second largest one would work well. Or if you've got the Stitch So Sweetly or the stitched rectangle layering dies, there's got to be a small rectangle one in there that will work for either of these. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to cut a hole in that top flap, keeping all my other pieces here for decorating. That's why my desk is a mess. So let's bring in the Stamp Cut Boss machine. I can do both of these at the same time here. I just got to find the end that's got the little tab on it. There we are. So we will cut one there. And we will cut one. Oops. I'm using my magnetic platform from my old Big Shot underneath here. The dies jump around a little bit. Okay, there we go. Get a plate here. There we go. That's pretty straightforward. That stuff all out of the way. All right. Now we've got some pieces we can use for sentiments on one of our other cards or on your tags or something like that. So that worked out well. And they're even wood grain on the other side, so you could stamp on them on the wood grain too, or use them in conjunction with the stickers. So I'm going to put them there in my pile. All right, now we need a little bit of tear and tape. And this is how it goes together. So I just want to make sure that I get it on the right side. Yes, so it's going to go on the white side on the little flap at the end, that narrow little flap. And before I do this one, I think I'm going to pull in my trio punch and do like I did on my tags. I'm going to round the corners, and then I'm going to put the little florets in the corners. Could even put a hole in the middle of it to tie a ribbon on the top if I wanted the ribbon to stick off the top. And then let's do all the folding on this one, so you can see. Whoops. Nope, that's in the right spot. Just gonna be careful with this fold. I should have done the folding on this one before I die cut it, like I did my other one, but I'm just being careful here. Okay. And then we release the tear and tape. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to stick a box like this together. So you have wherever your sticky is and wherever your last fold is, put your sticky up so it sits in the fold. Release your paper, fold it over and stick it on. And then when you open it up, it'll open up the little box. Okay, so we'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to fold so that get the right fold here, so that my sticky is right up against the fold that I want it to stick to. And then we just take our release paper off and fold over and stick down, and then we have our little box with a hole in it. And you're asking, okay, what are we doing with these little things? Little box and the hole. Well, we go shopping for Easter candy. And you're no doubt going to find somewhere some little chocolate chickens or little chocolate bunnies. Get in the hole, bunny. There we go. And we have little tabletop treat holder things. And again, you can decorate them all up on the back. Get this out of the way here so it doesn't make noise. With, you know, you could use a piece of the doily like we did with the tags. You've got lots of greenery and fun stuff here that, again, because these are going on the table, you don't have to keep everything on the surface. It can stick up past the edge, so you can layer up some of these larger, taller pieces that can stick out from behind. We've got all these beautiful stickers and things we can use. You still have tons of designer paper left, and probably some different pieces from the Memory and More cards. And we've got these little pieces that we punched out that you could stick off the edge somewhere as a tag, or it could go right on the front here like this too. This would be fun to do on the front as a little sentiment tag, and put it in conjunction with one of the little flowers or the bumblebees, and voila, you've got some lovely little treat holders. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off the one here with Mr. Bunny. I want to put I like the idea of this little tag here in the front because it's got the wood grain on it. What have I got left here in sentiments that would fit that? Thankful for You, I think, will fit just perfectly right in the middle of that. It's even the same shape. Look at that. Okay, and then that's going to go on the front edge here. Like that. I'll just get it in place. And then I'm going to stand it up so that I can push that down. It should come on there straight. Just kind of holding it in place. Yep, there we go. All right, and then I had a piece of a doily. Oh, it's here. I like those doilies. Those blue doilies are pretty cool. The blue and the wood grain go together so well. They're my favorite, I think. So I'm just going to stick that in the corner like that. Okay, and then do I want some green and some brown? I want to try to do some green and some brown here. So let's see. I'm going to trim this off right here. And this right here. I'm going to keep this flower over here. I'll trim this stem. There we go. So I've got this piece to use on something else, and then I just have to round off the corners on this little bit that I got here, so it doesn't look like it got chopped off of something. There we go. And I've got this green flower. Take some of the stem off. I don't know that they're flowers. They're weeds. They're something. Meadow. Things you would find in the meadow. So I'm sure you'd find all kinds of weeds and flowering things in the meadow. There we go. And a couple of dots. Let's do... I wish there were blue ones. Ha 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 ha. There can be blue ones. You just have to have your Misty Moonlight alcohol marker. I want to find my dark one. I'm not sure if I want dark or light. So I'm going to try the light one first. No color on these. If it'll stick, stay where you're to. Let's see. Nope, I think I want the dark. Yeah, I want the dark. So I'm going to color a couple of these vanilla flavored ones because I'm not finding I'm using the vanilla flavored ones at all. And I'm just going all the way around the edges on them. The alcohol will dry pretty quickly and we will have blue dots. Put one down there. Wasn't quite dry. I now have blue fingers. And one up here. That one's dry. And one down here on the front. If I can get my finger in there to get it. There we are. All right. And all this other stuff left over. Tons and tons and tons of creative potential here, people. And then Mr. Bunny is just gonna wiggle into the hole. Get in there. He's a tight fit, but that way he's not gonna get away on me. He's just peeking up over the edge. Isn't that great? Just nice. And that'll make such a nice little thing to put, you know, on somebody's dresser when they wake up on Easter morning to get a little treat, or at the table. Really fun. Okay, so out of those extra card bases, you can make, let me see, you've got 5 card bases. So if you took 2 of them, you'd end up with 4 treat holders, and you'd end up with 8 tags. And you've still got 1 left over. So any combination of this you do, you can either get 20 tags, 10 treat holders, or some combination of them, or you could still turn them into actual cards by folding them in half, using some of your stickers and or some of the actual 3 by 4. I think I used them all my 3 by 4 memory and more cards. Yep, I guess I used them all, but the cards that you start with go on here. And but look, you could take this beautiful flower sticker that's here, if it hasn't already been used in another project, and put it on the front of this card, along with a we can get through anything together sentiment. And voila, instantly you have a beautiful card. And you've still got more of these card bases and envelopes in your pack. So tons of creative potential with just these card bases and the stickers and extra greenery and whatnot. I want to see what you create. So at the bottom of this post, you're going to find a Facebook button. Click that Facebook button, take a picture of your project, and go on over there, leave us a comment, leave us your photo, show us what you ended up creating. I want to see your inspiration for these projects and share with us. So thanks for joining me for this project. I hope you're really enjoying Craft Day in a Box, and carry on. Enjoy the rest.